What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the chaos. My name is Vlad the-tek, and today we're going to be looking at some more autism memes. Now, in the past, I haven't really done a good job of explaining exactly what the memes are talking about, but hopefully I'll be able to do that a little bit better this time around. But if you guys have any questions, don't forget that you can leave me comments in the comment section below. Also, if you yourself have autism spectrum disorder, you can also leave me comments in the comment section below. But with that out of the way, let's go to the memes! Your four toes, watching how you hit the little one on the corner of a piece of furniture. I think we can all relate to this, autism or not. That shit sucks. Although I will say this, a lot of people with higher functioning autism like myself suffer from being clumsy a lot. I stub my little toe and my big toe on every fucking thing in the house. It also doesn't help that I have MG, so I tend to stub my toes a lot just because I lose my balance because my muscles get weak throughout the day. But yeah, moving on. Neurotypicals. I can do whatever. Autism. I need routines to function. ADHD. I function in chaos. Autism and ADHD. Wait, you guys can function? Yeah, I have autism and ADHD. I'm pretty sure you guys have figured that out. I think for the most part that the fact that I like to drink coffee has helped me a lot because stimulants help you focus a little bit. Also, if there's something that I need to do that requires a lot of focus on a bunch of different things happening at once, like when I'm editing a video or editing audio, it's actually easier for me to do that task because it's a lot of things going on at once. So I don't really get distracted because there's too much to look at all at once. So although when I'm out and doing other things, I get distracted so easily if it's just a random task that I've been given. I'm getting a sensory overload from you that I don't want to go away. What? I'm getting a sensory overload from you that I don't want to go away. Oh! If you guys have watched the video I've done on the Maid of Scar, I actually started stimming, like I was flapping my hands because of sensory overload. Just use your imagination on what she's talking about. And every time I look inside your eyes, you make me want to die. The feeling when neurotypicals try to force eye contact. Eye contact is one of those things that people with autism have trouble understanding. So when you're forced to actually do it when you don't want to do it, like I tend to do, it either gets incredibly awkward or it can cause you some great discomfort to the point where you could have a meltdown. It takes a lot out of somebody with autism to actually function normally in society. Fun fact, I really don't have a whole lot of issues talking to you guys through the comment section because I actually get time to think about the response that I want to give. So yeah, it's slightly more socially acceptable for me to go, okay, I can't answer this question right now, I'm going to wait. Rather than like a text message from somebody that I know. It's like, do I answer that now? Do I have to answer that now? Can I wait to think about the answer? What if I don't know how this person's trying to communicate with me? There's just so much that goes through my mind when somebody's talking to me that if I don't do something like scripting or masking, if I don't know the person, chances are I'm probably going to avoid talking to you altogether. Unless you talk to me in the comment section, then chances are I'm probably going to talk to you. I am tired and will now go to bed right away, immediately. Definitely won't spend another hour reading. So a lot of people with autism tend to suffer from obsessive interests. So a lot of time, I don't really read a whole lot. Well, I do, but it's certain books like Warhammer books, Dungeons and Dragons books. But for the most part, I watch a lot of videos on topics that I'm interested in. And once you get into it, it's very, very hard to snap yourself out of it to go do something else. It's why when you see people with more severe forms of autism, if they're doing something that they're obsessed with, for the most part, once you try to take that thing away from them, they actually tend to melt down right then and there. So yeah, I definitely understand this. I definitely understand the insomnia. I've definitely been up till like 1 o'clock in the morning playing video games that I was incredibly interested in. May have happened once or twice. May still happen. You don't know. Don't judge. This floor tile exists. How my 8-year-old brain saw this. I've actually done that before. This is exactly what went through my head. A lot of times people with autism, since they do have obsessive interests, also tend to have very active imaginations like I do. And like I made up this weird game when I was younger. It was like a mix up between Dragon Ball Z and stuff like this. And and we had floor tiles that had like in this those vacant areas where there were like the square dark tiles like you're seeing here. And basically the idea is me and my older brother were play fighting while jumping from one tile to the other. Why is it over here? What is this dot? Oh, it's gonna drive my OCD fucking nuts. Okay, hopefully this doesn't trigger anyone, but here we go. An autism parent, when they finally find the missing item their child has requested for the 937th time that day. He looks happy. Kind of makes me feel sad that I had an entire series where he was the first person to die and stay dead. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch that video. But yeah, imagine when you lose your car keys, how upset you are and the lengths you will go to try to get them back. Now imagine doing that when you have a little bit of OCD thrown in with your autism and you have to have that missing thing or your life literally stops there and it causes you intense anxiety. Just never mind, I'm going to move on. Autism rule number 32. Running out of your child's favorite food may lead to disregard of your own physical appearance in the panic of restocking the item to avoid a meltdown. This is kind of one of those negative things about autism where people think that your child has to have that exact thing. No, in fact, I actually had a meltdown for a similar reason here recently, and it's because I didn't prepare my brain mentally for something that I was looking for not being there. Basically, I went out to actually buy ink to actually paint with, and the ink that I was looking for wasn't there. And my brain's sitting there trying to basically figure out a backup plan on the fly in the moment, which actually does take a lot out of you. It's less about finding that favorite thing that they absolutely can't live without, but teaching them that sometimes you're not going to have it, and that there's always going to be a backup plan, which is the better option, which is more of what I'm trying to work on now. Just because I can't find that one thing that I absolutely want to have doesn't mean that there's not going to be something else that's going to be a nice substitute for it that I can live with. I'm not looking at this because it has Doctor Who in it. Also, some parents, when someone says, "Why don't you just get a babysitter?" That's actually a tough thing that I'm pretty sure my mom struggled with me, is the fact that people with autism do not warm up to people right away. Not to mention, a lot of babysitters don't understand autism whatsoever. In fact, I'm pretty sure none of the babysitters that I've ever had actually understood what the fuck autism was. And probably why I really liked it when I was allowed to stay home by myself. How autism parents look when their child eats a new food. Yeah, this one I can relate to. I've discussed this one before. It has to do with sensory processing disorder. It's a disorder about how your mind has trouble processing certain sensory stimuli. So things like bright lights, sounds, smells, tastes, textures, all of those things can actually overload some of your sentences. It's actually treated as something being almost exclusive to people with autism. Like I've stated before, the one thing I was actually forced to eat some foods that I didn't like. A lot of them were for texture issues. One of those things was tapioca pudding. Ugh. If you want me to hate you forever, force me to eat some tapioca pudding. Watch how fast I will punch you in the face. So yeah, when it comes to trying a food that you don't know how your child's going to react to, kind of makes sense that you'd be just be like, hey, here's a new thing. You don't have to eat it if you don't want to, but here it is if you want to try it. Oh god. Please have a seat, thank you. I've gotten to a point where I can understand sarcasm fairly well, but I still have problems when people are being sarcastic with me. I actually made a TikTok meme over on TikTok about a conversation I had with my brother. He asked me, how do I like my eggs? And my response was to take that phrase literally and respond with, I like my eggs cooked. So yes, people with autism do have trouble understanding when you're being sarcastic. it's a social cue. So yes, instead of actually sitting down, they might try to grab a seat like this guy's doing. It's like saying to me, hey, keep a stiff upper lip, and all of a sudden I go, how do I stiffen my upper lip? Yeah, if I don't understand your sarcasm, you can just tell me it's a joke. In fact, it's better that way than to just be awkward about it. I'm awkward. I'm weird. I'm okay with my weird. Don't feel bad if I get some of my weird on you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I get some of my weird off on you. Just accept it, and we'll find a way to move on together, okay? There. Autistics want the same thing as anyone else, such as independence, equality, acceptance, and bacon. Very, very true. The best way for me to describe it as the old school method of trying to deal with autism was to teach people who have autism to control it, but autism's not something you control. Control implies that you can switch it on or off, or like control it like a dial. You don't really control it. You manage it, which is something completely different. You make people aware that you have these little quirks and that certain things can cause negative effects on you. That's where the acceptance thing comes in. Because if you try to talk to somebody with autism like it's something that needs to be cured, you're going about it wrong. Because first off, there is no cure, and two, it's not something that needs to be cured. It's just, think of it like that's their personality. That's it. I'm weird. I may get some weird on you, but chances are you're gonna get your weird on me too. So let's just be weird together, okay? You may be an autism parent if your child can sit through a 2-hour movie without moving a muscle, but is unable to sit still for 5 minutes at school. Yes, perfect. Because school can actually make somebody with autism very, very anxious, because there's a lot of social cues that we're unable to pick up on. For instance, one thing is when your teacher is sitting there talking to you and explaining things while also pointing at something on the chalkboard, which one do you pay attention to? This is a legitimate thought that I've had. Which thing am I supposed to be looking at? Should I be looking at you, or should I be looking at the chalkboard? Which one is it? I actually learn more not listening to teachers. Instead, I learn more just by asking the teacher beforehand, what chapter in the book do I look at, and reading the chapter for myself and completely ignoring them. And when you can sit through a 2-hour movie, that's typically because you're actually obsessed with the topic at hand. So it makes total sense. Yes! School is hard for autistic people. And I think that is going to do it for today. And I think that is going to do it for autism memes today. So, this was actually pretty fun. I actually had to do a whole lot more digging than usual because my usual sources haven't been updated for a while, which kind of sucks. So I'm going to actually try to start a Reddit thread just for autism memes. So if you guys find a meme that you want me to react to on the channel, feel free to find the link for that thing in the description below. Also, if you guys, as I stated before, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment for me in the comment section while you're down there. And if you're new to the channel, hey, you should subscribe, because I have more funny content like this, as well as a boatload of Let's Plays that we can all laugh at and get our weird on each other. That sounded totally wrong. So before you realize the weirdness of what I just said, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, feel free to show me some love down below by hitting the like button, and don't forget to check out the annotations for more videos. And I will see you in the next video.